Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
So I'm standing, waiting for my friend to pull up, and then she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, my friend's gonna park here." So she gets in her car and she tries to park in the space. And I'm like, that's so dramatic, right?
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Deborah Wallace was shocked when she discovered her car had been vandalized and blames the defendant. Ms. Wallace is suing street artist James Clay in the amount of $680. Mr. Clay claims it was not him who vandalized the plaintiff's car. He just happened to be near the scene of the crime.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Third, good Deputy Thomas. You had some graffiti on your vehicle, ma'am, and you're not happy about it.
Correct.
You believe Mr. Clay is responsible for that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Why do you think he's responsible?
In time past, I've had run-ins with Mr. Clay.
What type of run-ins did you have with Mr. Clay?
I have a parking spot in front of my home that most of the children or the people and the persons that live in that neighborhood respect me to park there because of my age, because I am elderly.
There's a space in front of your home on the public street. You don't like people parking in front of your house.
Correct.
I don't either. Here's the issue. It's a public street.
Correct. I understand that, Your Honor, but still, most of the people in the neighborhood, and I've been knowing Mr. Clay for years. It's not somebody I've just met.
Okay.
And the way he's dressed today is not the way he normally is. This is not
Now, why
him.
did you make it a point to say that?
Because I think that he's trying to portray something that he's not.
What does he normally look like?
He's usually wearing the sagging pants, he's got his hat on, he wears a mask all the time because he says he's a signature artist.
All right,
but I know better than that.
Let's have a discussion, Mr. Clay.
Let's have one, please.
This is not your typical attire.
Yeah, yes, it is. This is a casual setting. I'm going to dress casual, and if I'm in the streets, I'm going to be, a little less casual.
Okay.
But they've been accusing me every day of just everything wrong. As they say,
they have been accusing.
Well, it's Miss Deborah and her next door neighbor. They accuse me of vandalism, stealing ever since I was 16 years old. But nothing ever sticks up.
Do you have any sort of history of criminality?
I actually don't. I have a clean criminal record.
Okay.
So
why are you all accusing him of things, Miss Wallace?
I have seen him personally deface public property. Also, Mr. Clay, I've watched him over the years. I've tried to encourage him to go to school and do something with his life. The people he surrounds himself with are not credible people. I know his parents. They are hardworking people. However, he is left to his own self and to do his own thing.
He's not a young man. How old are you, sir?
25.
All right. Are you still living at home?
Yes.
All right. What are you doing right now?
I'm a professional artist. And,
define that for me.
I get contracted to create art, draw art, paint on, public property.
Are you freelance or
freelance,
do you work
yes,
for a
I'm a
particular
freelance
company?
artist.
All right, so you're going from, you got a hustle going.
Exactly, definitely.
And when in between gigs, what are you doing?
I'm a musician, or I'm just creating art, trying to sell art.
And you're thinking, okay, he's not quite
what he's propped up to be. I know that Mr. Clay did that. Mr. Clay and I have had several encounters.
You talked specifically, though, about a parking space.
Yes. There's this parking spot right in front of my home. I am an elder senior in the neighborhood.
Yes.
And the people that live there respect me. I've been there for years. The neighborhood has changed a lot because different elements have moved into the neighborhood. But nevertheless, he knows that I park there on certain days.
It's street parking. It's public. Everybody parks everywhere, in my opinion.
All right. He's not breaking any law if he chooses to use the public street to park, even if it's in front of your house.
Correct.
So what's the problem?
Mr. Clay and I have had confrontations in the past, as I've said. He has debased some of the property. I've seen him do it.
You've seen it with your own eyes?
With my own two eyes.
All right,
I've seen him
if you know where she lives and you know you've had issues with her in the past, out of all the places to park, why wouldn't you just park somewhere else to avoid all the problems?
Okay, I had friends over because there was a big game that night, so my parking was full.
Okay.
So, and
you mean where there could be public parking?
Exactly. And one of my friends were coming over, and they're like, I'm on my way, I'm 20 minutes away. I said, okay, so I'm going to save you a spot. There was a spot in front of her house, coincidentally. She was parked in the driveway. So I'm standing on the sidewalk.
Wait, your vehicle was parked in the driveway?
Parked in the driveway.
Okay,
yes.
and then what happened?
So I'm standing, waiting for my friend to pull up, and then she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, my friend's going to park here. So she gets in her car, and she tries to park in the space. And I'm like, that's so dramatic, right?
No,
I'm like,
no,
okay.
no.
She's already in her driveway,
Yes.
parked. She comes out of her car,
Yes.
gets her keys, backs up and says, no, I'm parking in that spot.
Yes.
Right.
Coming up on America's Court.
If you have the ability to park in your driveway and you're removing packages, why would you take the car further away from the front door?
And later,
I did ask to have some of the pizzas to go. I mean, he charged me $270. Your Honor, I got one medium pizza and a box of random slices.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Deborah Wallace, who is suing street artist James Clay for $680.
You didn't leave, you just backed up and parked in front of your
Correct,
house.
sir, because I had to go into my home. I was relieving myself of some packages. He knew I was coming back out.
But if you have the ability to park in your driveway and you're removing packages, why would you take the car further away from the front door? Because if you're already in the driveway, I'm assuming you're right next to your door.
Correct.
You're now moving the car to be inconvenienced.
She actually pulled in, and I had to like back out of the way so I wouldn't be hit. She kind of jumped in a little fast. So, and I was like, Miss Deborah, like, I'm saving this spot. And we got into a little altercation, and she was, talking, and I didn't want to, disrespect her. So I was like, all right, Miss Deborah, like, whatever. Have your spot. I'll figure it out. And I left, and that was it.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true, but not just like that. He didn't just leave without giving me a few choice words, being disrespectful out of his mouth. That is the truth. And
right.
later, I find out that my car has been spray painted. And I have a witness here today,
Is the witness here?
Miss Cecilia.
Ma'am, step forward. You said Miss Evans?
Cecilia
Adams?
Evans,
Yes.
correct.
All right, Miss Evans, talk to me. How do you factor into this whole thing?
So it was one evening, like around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I was preparing dinner for me and my family. And as I was walking back towards the kitchen to check on my stuff, I heard a little something going on. So I peeked outside my blinds. And I happened to see Mr. James standing next to the car. And
Next to whose car?
Well, standing next to her.
Miss Wallace's car.
Yes. When I see that happen, I happen to, go next door and let her know because I heard of their previous incident that they had as of the parking because I know.
All you did was see Mr. Clay in
I've
proximity.
I've seen him, he had this spray paint in his hand.
You
he
saw
had the
him
mask.
holding a spray paint can.
I saw him with the can
and
in
you
his
saw
hand.
him wearing a mask that
Yes,
people would
and
use
then
it.
he did have his Laker hat on. He usually wears this Laker hat. I've seen him around the neighborhood with it. He probably doesn't wear it every single day, but I've seen him
How
with
long have you known Mr. Clay?
it. I don't know him that much, but I've seen him around.
How
'cause
long
I
have
grew
you
up-
been seeing him?
Probably for the past, I'll say 2 years, 3
All right.
years.
You know who he is when you see him?
Yes.
And did you just look at him face forward, or were you looking at him to the side or from the back of the head?
So basically, he was spray painting like on her driver door, which he was facing towards me.
Got it. Mr. Clay, what's your response to that?
I don't know who they saw, but it was not me. I'm an artist, and I'm not going to just paint on somebody's car. I have visions and dreams way bigger than that.
All right, I understand what Mr. Clay is saying in terms of he is not owning this involvement at all. I need to see some evidence of what we're talking about. If you have proof of your injuries and the costs, you have,
I do.
You have that? Yes, please. All right, what you're showing me here, this is your vehicle.
Correct.
And is this the tagging that was done?
Yes, sir.
Because it looks like gang graffiti.
Gangs in that neighborhood.
Got it. Anything else? Ms.
That's it,
Evans,
Your
anything
Honor.
you want to add?
No, I pretty much
You
did.
can have a seat. Mr. Clay?
I'm innocent of this. They don't even have like a clear case on me. They just assuming because I'm a person in the neighborhood that does art, and I'm
And what
accused.
type of art do you, I mean, you said you do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
You don't happen to have anything on your phone
I do.
that shows?
I do. I do have a piece that I did a month ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I would imagine if you're an artist, you're going to at least have some of your art on
Gotta
your
have
phone,
some.
but you actually brought something with me, to me. And what does this say?
It says series.
It says series?
Yes.
That's what the wording is saying?
Yes. It's like an artistic expression way of saying it. Yes.
And then at the bottom it says HARS core. What is that?
It's just hardcore. It's like the street.
Oh, the heart, but the D looks like an S here. And you put that on your...
It's just a building, but I got permission for it from the store manager. But it's like down the street from our neighborhood.
Do you typically wear a mask?
Yes, because harmful,
Those
toxins.
Right, the toxins. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel comes down in favor of the plaintiff.
Really?
If I have someone saying they saw you in the vicinity, they didn't see you doing it, that's one thing. But when I have someone say, I saw this person that I know, who I've seen on a regular basis, wear a green shirt and a hat, and you use spray paint and you use a mask, Ms. Wallace has met her burden. You will pay her that $680, sir. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $680.
I'm happy that the judge decided for me and that Mr. Clay did the graffiti on my car, and I hope that this is a wake-up call for Mr. Clay.
I'm honestly surprised I was found guilty. I'm a graffiti artist, but I would never deface her car.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I did ask to have some of the pizzas to go. I mean, he charged me $270. Your Honor, I got one medium pizza and a box of random slices.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Peggy Jo Burns claims she was bamboozled by the defendant when he charged her for food that she didn't eat. Ms. Burns is suing pizza parlor owner Jim Licata in the amount of $270. Mr. Licata claims the plaintiff ordered the food ahead of time to be prepared, and it's not his fault the rest of her party didn't show up.
He's got great pizza, but you felt you were overcharged.
Definitely.
All right. The $270, that's the amount that you feel you should not have had to have paid.
Yes, Your Honor.
How much do you think you should have paid?
I should have paid for the 2 buffets.
Okay.
I had my friend there, Sophie, and I was prepared to pay for the buffet for me and her.
But initially, according to your complaint, there were other people that were going to join you,
Yes,
right? And you let Mr. Licata know that.
I did.
Mr. Licata, Ms. Burns had been coming to your establishment
Correct.
on other occasions.
Correct.
And then what happened when she came on previous occasions?
So the first time she came with a friend of hers, and
it was just 2 of them.
correct.
And when Ms. Burns came the first time with her friend,
They ate as much as they could.
they ate as much as they took advantage of the buffet.
Correct.
All right, so I take it you offer a pretty good price.
It's a lunch special that
You
we
don't
do.
offer it throughout the whole time.
No, we
right.
go under.
That wouldn't work, huh?
Correct.
All right, you get the lunch crowd. You liked his pizza.
Oh, love it. It's amazing.
Then why did we have a problem? Because the first time she came in, no problem.
Correct. And the second time, we had no problem. And the third time, the problem actually stems from the fact that she had pre-ordered the pizzas,
When she
and
came
I
in
pre-made
the second
them.
time, was it just her and a friend again?
No, she came with a big crew of people.
How many people are we talking about?
15 people.
Coming up on America's Court.
I did ask to have some of the pizzas to go. I mean, he charged me $270. Your Honor, I got one medium pizza and a box of random slices.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Peggy Jo Burns, who is suing pizza parlor owner Jim Licata for $270.
Come on the third time and then walk me through what happens, why the people didn't show up.
Well, I did not pre-order any pizzas. We talked on the phone, and I was letting him know that we were coming around 1 o'clock, so if he could have some pizzas ready that were favorites from ours for the buffet, that would be great. And
Well, wait a minute. You just said you didn't pre-order.
I didn't pre-order.
And,
We just talked-
and in
it's a
saying that,
buffet,
you
so-
said, have some pizzas that I like ready when we get there. Sounds like an order to me.
Yeah. Me too.
And why didn't the people come? It got canceled, clearly, for what reason?
Right. Unfortunately, Jerry called me around 1:15 and let me know that there was a huge accident on
Who's
the freeway.
Jerry?
That's the person, it was his birthday.
Got it.
Sophie and I, we're not doctors or nurses, so we could stay and finish lunch.
You were expecting another 18 or so people
Exactly.
to show up. And, I mean, what do you do if you got people who need the assistance of the doctors and the nurses? They're not going to say, oh, well, we got to make this reservation.
I understand that. However, I did make the pizzas and I had them ready to go for them.
I see it
But,
from
Your
both
Honor, the
sides.
situation was completely out of my hands. I mean,
I understand that. Why couldn't we order the pizzas and then take them back to the hospital?
I
they're gonna
did
be
ask to have some of the pizzas to go. I mean, he charged me $270. Your Honor, I got one medium pizza and a box of random slices.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
You didn't need to come to court to figure this out. This was a conversation between the two of you. She works at a hospital. That's a steady stream of people coming over there and giving you the benefit. Why couldn't you all work this out?
So I tried to negotiate a deal with him. Maybe the next time we come, we get some type of discount. You know, I'll definitely continue to bring the staff in.
If the entire staff were to show up and eat, they can always eat more than and make up the money that they had in the buffet.
I get it. You're missing what I was trying to say.
I understand what you're trying to say in terms of what I should.
You're winning the battle because the big customer loyalty.
Correct.
Establishing a relationship with someone who works at a hospital. That's a relationship worth nurturing. You can't pay for that sort of advertising. Your cost in terms of getting the word out, someone like this is helping you become that messenger. But you want to do it your way, so that's fine. Well, based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel was going to come down in favor of the plaintiff. I don't know about this $270, though. What I think is reasonable in light of you saying have some pizzas ready. Typically, an average pizza, a large, would cost how much?
$12.99.
$12.99. So let's just say $13 with tax. Let's just say $15. This is where we do a little rough justice. Ma'am, $135 is your judgment. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $135.
I do not take advantage of my customers. However, I'm glad that this process is over, and Peggy and her friends are welcome back for pizza anytime they'd like.
Mr. Licata took advantage of me. Thankfully, the judge realized this. I'm just happy to get most of my money back.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.